Let's go ahead and change our exhaust out here. We've worked a long time on our little exhaust to try to perfect a nice little sound, and still we hope that there's enough back pressure in the exhaust pipes that you don't have to rejet your carburetors. No one can ever guarantee that, but we're hoping that's what will happen, and we will know more with time once everybody rides it. The problem we have is we're at a higher elevation here where the air is a little bit thinner, and it's kind of hard to tell because our bikes a lot of times will run really well, and then when you get them down towards sea level they might run a little bit lean. But we actually had our exhaust checked with a dynometer and a dyno, and he said that it actually the bike was running just a tad rich, so hopefully at sea level these things will run really well. And then the other thing is, if you're going to do long commutes on your bike at like steady high speeds, you may want to stay with the stock exhaust, because there's no guarantee that any aftermarket exhaust is going to be jetted properly unless you have it professionally jetted. So anyway, but around town and stuff where you're on and off the throttle a lot, I think you'd be pretty safe. Oh, and then the other nice thing about our exhaust too, your exhaust may be kind of beat up anyway. Maybe somebody dropped the bike at one time, so that it'll look a lot better to have our exhaust on there. And then we kind of chose the old school megaphone exhaust just for an old school look. So anyway, let's get started. This is a pretty easy procedure. Okay, just to educate you on the exhaust, this is the baffle that comes in the exhaust when we buy it, and this is the one you would get if you ordered one of these from MGO. Okay, what this is just a little kind of a rinky-dink screen setup that was down inside like that, but this thing did not give any back pressure at all, and it did not quiet at all. So the exhaust was so obnoxiously loud that it was just terrible. So that's why we worked really hard to come up with this baffle system that we made, and this is down inside your pipe. So that's a pretty elaborate looking little deal. We worked a long time on that to get that sound just right and the back pressure. Okay, and you'll notice too, everything is welded. So even though this is a screw right here, whatever you do, don't try to take that out, because it's going to be useless, because everything is welded into place. So, and we even welded the screw into place so you can't be tempted to take the baffles out. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to separate these sleeves, and then we'll go ahead and get this exhaust system on the bike. Okay, we're going to have to separate these sleeves so that they look like this, all three separate. And MGO, they kind of stuck these together, so a little hard to get apart unless you know the secret here. So anyway, what you do is you just take your plier, and we'll do the small inside one first. You'll notice that slot right there on the inside. Just grab your plier there and twist this way. So what you're doing basically is you're collapsing that bushing inside there. So if you twist it that way, that one will come out. Then if you do the next one the same way, rotate this way, that one will come out too. So there you have them. The first thing we're going to do is loosen this clamp on the front of your exhaust right here. Let's go ahead and loosen that, and then we'll continue on. Okay, I've removed the bracket here, these two screws, and right here, and the exhaust is loose now. So go ahead and just slide that off. Kind of rotate it as you slide it off. Okay, now we're going to mark the exhaust left and right so that we don't get these confused. Okay, I've marked this right on the right side here. One of the reasons you want to do that too is, even if these are the same after you cut them, is this on this pipe the soft seal washer stayed on, and on the other side it stayed in the pipe. So that way when you put this back on, it'll line up with whatever that does when you take it off. Next, I'm going to show you how to cut this pipe off here. And I'm going to use that cheap hacksaw that we gave you in the main kit there. So it's really simple and easy and fun, and I'll show you how to do it. First I'm going to zoom in on this and show you that dimension. Okay, we got a little old-fashioned rock and roll going in the background. I hope you like that. So anyway, okay, now I'm zoomed in on this. What we're going to do is this little ridge right here, there's two ridges. There's this one and this one. There's some silver paint here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that 3/4 of an inch from that ridge there to where my cut is, or 20 millimeters for you guys that live in the other countries that don't use English. So anyway, there it is. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to show you how to do her. Okay, I'm an old fart, so I'm going to cut this, and if I can do it, you can do it. So anyway, I'm going to carefully cut it there, get it started. Now I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to tell you how long it took. Hey, how about that? It took less than 3 minutes to cut through there, and I'm finished. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and grind a little chamfer around here. Get rid of the burrs, and we want to angle that edge just a little bit so it'll slide into the bike. I've cut both pipes, and this is the remaining piece that we're going to use to hold the new mufflers. So go ahead and put just a little bit of oil in the around the edge here, and smear that around in there. And then maybe put a little bit of oil on this too, on this graphite bushing. Now the graphite bushing may be in your bike, in which case go ahead and put a little oil on the pipe down there, because you want to make sure this slides over that and easy does it without damaging that graphite bushing. Okay, go ahead and slide it all the way forward. And then have this angle up and out just a little bit, and do that to both sides, and then we're ready to install the pipes. Next we want to go ahead and install the brackets. These are the longer brackets that are in your muffler kit, and you'll notice that this angles forward, not back. If it angles back, then you got to switch them to the other side, because there is a right and a left. Go ahead and screw these on. Just leave these just a little bit loose for now. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, and it seems kind of silly, but we had to take these out in order to get them back into the pipe. They won't go in the pipe unless you take them apart first. So the way you do that is you slide the big bushing in first. Just run it into where the little pressed little dimple there, just it comes flush with the pipe there. And then run the second one in, next smallest, and then the smallest last. And I try to keep the cracks, the open areas in line. That way when you tighten this clamp, it might crush that a little easier. They won't fight each other in order to fit on, to crush and fit on the pipe. So keep the open areas in line, and just go ahead and insert those in there like that. So you got all three, large, medium, and small. And then we'll go ahead and slide this on the bike. Oh, you may want to make sure this is just a little bit loose here, this clamp. I've done both ends. Now you'll notice this one of your pipes has this funny looking piece welded onto it. Okay, that's the left side. That's the one that your kickstand will actually hit on that. So this is the other side of the bike. So I'm going to do the right side first. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slide the muffler over the header pipe there. Okay, you notice I popped it into the hole in the bracket there. Now you may want to move this, as you move that back and forth, both brackets down below will move. So go ahead and position that, leave everything loose for now, and do that to both sides, and then we'll show you how to snug these up. Okay, now this tightening sequence is kind of important, because this will make sure that everything lines up really well. So anyway, make sure that the exhaust is kind of seated in there nicely. And then we're going to start with the bottom bolt here. So we're going to snug that one up first. I'm going to pan around here and show you that. That's what it should look like. So I'm going to go ahead and snug that nut right up on there. Go ahead and put the lock washer on there and just snug that one up first. Do that to both sides. And then we'll continue on here. This is the left side, and there's that bracket that's welded to the bike. That'll let the kickstand will hit that. Okay, next we're going to tighten these two bolts on both sides. Go ahead and snug those up. Okay, next we want to tighten this this clamp right here. This is the stock clamp that was on the motorcycle. You notice I've rotated it underneath so it's a little cleaner looking. You don't see the bolt. And then make sure that this short header pipe that you cut off is all the way forward when you tighten this up. And make sure the clamp is forward too, so you get better clamping pressure that way. I'm going to go zoom in on this and show you that. And then, like I say, if it isn't all the way forward, then loosen your back and make sure that's all the way forward before you put that clamp on there. Go ahead and snug both of those up. Don't get too carried away. You don't want to break that bolt. Just feel them. Okay, the last thing I want you to tighten is this clamp right here, and run it all the way down as far as you can on the end of the pipe there. That way you get the best clamping pressure. And then you may want to put this kickstand up and use your regular kickstand when you snug these up, because you don't want this bolt to hit your spring on this side. And then on the other side, make sure that it clears everything on the other side too. Go ahead and snug that up. There's no sense in getting too carried away on that because it won't clamp too much more than if you just tighten it some, but go ahead and snug that up as well as you can. Okay, do me one more favor and go around and snug everything up. Just double check everything. Make sure this one's down here is snug, these, and the clamps up front are tight. And then make sure there's clearance for everything. The kickstand, make sure there's clearance on the other side for the chain. And make sure everything looks real nice, and then let's go ahead and fire this baby up. Oh, your brackets here will be black. Okay, there you have it. God, that bike looks sharp with those exhausts, and it sounds so much better. Especially when I'm riding, I can hear the exhaust now because the stock exhaust is so quiet. I couldn't even tell which gear I was in. So anyway, give us a call and let us know how you like this new exhaust, because we just think it's really killer, and it makes the bike so much more fun to ride. So thank you very much, and enjoy that new sound.